Hi, my name is Brian Wassam, and today's topic is hidden dangers in the use of artificial intelligence. It seems that you can't turn on any sort of media or get online nowadays without hearing ads for AI-powered applications and vendors and utilities, all just waiting to serve your business needs. These are available for industries across the board, whether that's enterprise resource management, client management, sales management and operations, human resources, any type of activity that businesses engage in. It seems like there's an AI-powered solution for that nowadays. And there are a lot of upsides to using AI-powered algorithms and machine learning, the types of technologies that we call AI. But there are risks too, and we don't think a lot about those. And before you, as a business owner, hire one of these companies or agree to use one of these algorithms in one of your critical business operations, we really recommend you think deeply about the hidden dangers. So what sort of risks are we talking about? We'll just cover a few. There's several, but some of the big picture issues that we see a lot in recent controversies and even some litigation include the following. First is invasion of privacy or violation of privacy laws. I'm sure you're aware that privacy laws, both across the United States and certainly around the world, are becoming more strict every year. They control what information companies are allowed to use and what they're entitled to do with it. AI algorithms, though, are adept at sucking in a lot of information. That's what powers them, big data. And in order to gather all that information, these algorithms often aren't very subtle about pulling in information that is controlled by these privacy laws, personally identifying information and similar types of regulated data. And once data gets into the algorithm, once it's in there and learned by the machine, it's very difficult, if not impossible, to unlearn that information, or indeed to even fully know what information the algorithm even has and what it's considering. And that can be problematic if you're in a jurisdiction that specifically regulates what you can do with that data. So it's important to know what data is being drawn into the big data set. Second, and related, are copyright infringement concerns. Now, we've seen a little bit of litigation on whether AI can own a copyright, whether it can be considered a creator. And from a legal perspective, that's a little bit silly. Copyright and intellectual property laws govern the expression of people, not machines. And we're seeing some fallout from those consequences. But more specifically here, we're concerned with what copyrighted information the AI program is taking in and what it's doing with that. We've recently seen a lawsuit filed in California by a number of copyright owners of software that is governed by certain open source use contracts or similar type of mechanisms. And their allegation is that these AI programs are making use of their copyrighted code outside of the parameters of what a copyright license would allow. And it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out, but it really seems to be a window into a much larger problem of a similar nature to the privacy question, which is, what boundaries are there, what regulations are there on what data the algorithms get and what they do with it. Third, and relatedly, are questions of accuracy. Now, AI algorithms are great at bringing in lots of data and analyzing those data sets over broad spectrums. And they can find hidden patterns and hidden details that are too subtle or too nuanced for humans to discern. But what they lack is human judgment. And sometimes we see the consequences of that lack of judgment in severe and remarkable ways. Now, one crazy example comes out of the healthcare industry with an ER that was powered by an AI program. And it informed the staff to send home patients that were sick and that had a history of respiratory disease because its data showed that those patients always got better every single time. So there's no need to admit them. Well, what the machine failed to add up was that the reason these patients had always gotten better was that they had always gotten the highest level of care because they were the most vulnerable. And so you have a machine not picking up on the fact that it is actually putting humans in danger because it's relying on incomplete data and making inaccurate conclusions based on that data. Because of risks like this, there is a growing movement to require what's called a right of explanation. In other words, to guarantee that a person affected by the decision made or informed by an algorithm has the right to know why that decision was made. This is actually enshrined in law already in Europe, and there are already some American jurisdictions that are starting to catch on to this idea. It's something that we have our eye on in terms of a growing legal trend. The difficulty with that right, the difficulty with that requirement, is that it is nearly impossible to untangle the web of how these programs reach their outcomes and reach their decisions. They really do operate in large part as a black box in terms of their decision-making process, and even how those algorithms change over time as the machines learn more. So businesses relying on these processes to reach their decisions could, at a very near point in the future, be required to give an explanation as to why they reached an outcome and not be able to provide that, other than to say, well, the machine told me to do that, or the algorithm is supposedly trusted and supposedly the most efficient thing that we can do, more so than humans, so we relied on that. And that explanation might not hold legal water at all, and certainly not for very much longer. So what's a business owner to do with this information? Obviously, no solution is entirely perfect or reliable. What do we do with these risks in AI? Well, at this point, the recommendation is have this conversation with your vendor. Don't take the sales pitch at face value, but dig into how the AI is helping you, how it's making these decisions, and how you can know they are the most reliable decisions. After that, get guarantees from your vendor. Understand who bears the legal risk here. For example, if you're driving a car that is powered by an AI driver assist program, the auto manufacturer makes very clear that you as the driver are still responsible for whatever happens with your car. Well, it's the same here with a software application in industry. If you're relying on this AI algorithm, you as a business owner very likely are still going to be the one holding the bag if mistakes are made or adverse consequences result. So have the conversation with your vendor. Do they indemnify you? Do they provide certain guarantees? Do they have skin in the game when it comes to relying on the output of their applications? So right now, these are the things that you as a business owner need to understand when contemplating using an AI-powered solution. And we at Warner can help you navigate those risks.